get started here. So, let's see. Last time I believe we were working on erasing. Since then, I have also made it so that colors mix with the correct gamma. If you don't know what that means, basically, if you have a color like this green here and you use another bright color like this red, there's not a dark band between the two colors. So if you go here into like Ace Bright, you'll see that it's darkened between the edges of the different colors. It's pretty pronounced here on the red and cyan as well. And this won't do that. That took some fiddling. And then today we're going to, we have exporting images, basic image exporting. You just do a shortcut and it will export an image. So we're going to also add importing images, and we'll add some UI for that, that it's not just using shortcuts. So if we take a look at our UI here, typically you have some kind of toolbar here at the top, and that's where this sort of stuff would go. I think for now, that's what we'll do. We might need to adjust some of that for, like, mobile. We might need to have a way to collapse some of that stuff, but we can start there. Okay, to do that, we need to go outside our sprite, and then we need to, let's see, we need to look at here. This is the tab container. It's going to have these tabs here. And then I believe this margin container honestly couldn't tell you what that's doing. but probably something important. And then we're going to add a menu bar. That's probably why I have them here. How does this work? So we have hey Brillam, into the stream. Yeah, you did a remix of one of these, right? I remember that. Let's try Rosix. Where's the general description of this node and how to use it? Right here. Reach pop-up menu child, so we should give it pop-up menu children. Yeah, and this is why we have a margin container, because otherwise things overlap. Correct. We should do the same here. Here's correct. What? Make it a child of this? That doesn't seem right. What did I do before that is different? Oh, well, right now it's inheriting its layout. What? Okay, so if we move this down, that's kind of sort of what we want to do, but not quite. So how do get this do what we want it to? To control the container's margins, use the margin theme properties. Okay, so maybe this is in the theme overrides. Added any to this though, but maybe it would help if we added them here. Could just be inherited from the theme itself as well. Probably what I did. So we want this to have margin on the top. That's not quite right. It's not quite right, because we don't actually want that to happen. We want maybe this is not the right container to be using. Yeah, because I'm thinking about it wrong. This should be something like maybe a V-box container. Put this down here. This up here. The problem there is going to be that they don't properly expand. Thanks for stopping by, Cosmic. See you later. Hey, Paul. Welcome to the stream. Voice critical here. The Pixel editor situation is crazy. Won't let me change things. Oh, it's fine. I don't need to really. This. Interesting. Aha. There we go. Let's set that to expand. Now we've got our menu up here. With nothing in it because we haven't put anything in it. So we add items to it. Isn't there... Well, I guess this makes sense. But is there not a thing that you can do? What is a pop-up panel? Just a panel. Yeah. Oh, this is fine. We'll just have to manually add the options we want. We'll also rename this to file. Okay. We'll add our first option to open, or say import image. Export image. And then let's see what that does. Okay. Now we can click those. All right. And then I think we pretty much want to connect those signals to probably our tab container here. And then it will pass it on to the correct sprite. So to do that, we want... What is this? What is the difference between index and ID? Not sure, but we can just connect it, I think. Yeah, I guess it's so that if your options ever get reordered, it'll still mean the same thing. And then we basically have the option of connecting that either here or maybe up to main. Let's see what's in main. Not much. Okay. So when we click one of those buttons, we'll get an ID for these errors. I don't believe you. Thanks, Paul. Much appreciated. Even on your feeble blue sky. So we've got that. It's gotta have an ID that is pressed, and then we want to say basically match ID. Hey, thanks Starpomic for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. Yeah, right now working on UI stuff. Not a game, it is my pixel art editor made in Godot. And we're making it so that you can import images. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I had the idea to do this basically just because of the existence of viewports, they're kind of pretty well suited to this sort of thing. I have like a crap ton of viewports in here. Okay, so if you press the first one, it's going to be port image. Okay. We go here. What is the right syntax for this? I always forget it. I think it's just you put the thing that you're matching and then a colon. You're going to Texas on Thursday. Gonna be in the area or nah? I assume not. It'd be a far way. Yeah, just the edge of Texas. Okay, so if it's the first one, that's going to be importing an image. We're going to grab the current sprite, which we do, I believe, with app state. We get the current app state. Then we use the current sprite property, and then let's check here real quick what we've done. Okay, so we've got that. We can move this into its own function for saving. Say export PNG, let's say. Actually, I'm not sure it's limited to PNG, but fine. And we grab that and then we say export. I'm going to change it to export image because it's not just PNGs. It's any supported image file format. Yeah, I imagine New Mexico is cheap. If I were to move to New Mexico, though, I would have to have a job. And those are hard to come by these days. right. We have that. And then we have here, we want to say what do I actually save the current sprite as? What is this? Ah, it's a special sprite type. Which unfortunately is not a handle to current sprite. Okay, so if we wanted to actually get the correct sprite, how would we do that? Well, we're in the tab container. So we should be able to grab the active tab? Something like that? Let's see. Active or tab. It's the wrong place. Go back over here. Active. Tab range. Nope. Tab. All tabs in front. Get tab bar. Get tab control. That might be it. Yeah, returns the control node from the tab at the specific index. Okay. But we don't care about that. We want the current tab, which might mean we need to get the index of the current tab first. Unless there's something I'm missing. Ah, here. Get current tab control. That's exactly what we need. We take that, go here, get the current tab control, and then we call export image. So in theory, this should work. But hey, that's just a theory. A Godot theory. But I think it's going to be wrong. I think it's going to export when I click import. Yep. That's fine, though. We will just fix that. Right. We do little comment here. Switch this out for pretty much the opposite. Import image. Okay. Then we go to our sprite scene. Then we make a new function for importing images. Yeah, sometimes it can be interesting to revisit old material. We're going to import an image, and it's going to be something along these lines, but a little bit different. Okay. We're going to ignore the fact that maybe it should be able to import it into like a new separate sprite. We're just going to slap it into the current sprite. It's probably fine. We'll add a way to do it the other way as well later. Yeah, that sounds fun. Do that. Okay. So the idea is to get the file dialog. We're going to use a different file mode. It's going to be file mode open file. We're going to have on what is this? I guess load file would be. We should probably rename both of those, but it's fine. And when we do that, we're going to do current image. No, we don't care about that. Well, maybe we do. Current image dot. Do we not put a? There. They're like load PNG or something like that. Load from file. There we go. Let me give it the path. So that's good. And then we also want to, let's say what it'll do is maybe make a new layer. And put the image on the new layer. Have to work out some of these details at some point, but Seems like reasonable behavior for now. To do that, we would have to access the layer manager. Let's go to that actually, so we can see what we're doing there. So we've got switch layer, add layer. So let's say add layer. And then actually, let's just see what happens when we do that. I want to make sure it's actually adding it in a way that makes sense. We go here. And then we go to our layer manager. Okay. Now, go here and we say we want to import an image. Fine. There. Well, first of all, that's not right. We should have connected it to on load file. So now we say, what is it? Say import image. Then we go here, we open. Attempt to call function add layer in base null instance. Null instance. Is that? Surely layer manager exists. Oh, I didn't make it a unique. No, that's not right. I definitely did. Nope, I didn't. Because I'm silly. Okay. So we should make that unique. And now it should know what to do there. So when we go to import an image, okay, tortilla. Yeah. What were you expecting? A good old-fashioned tortilla? I'm a little bit more cultured than that. Come on now. Huh. What is it doing? This will not work on export. Instead, import the image file as an image resource and load it normally as a resource. Excuse me, what does that mean? And how do I actually load the image as an image file? Realsies. Why doesn't it like that? Is it just because it's in the like resource folder, or is it like actually not going to work on export? Because if that's true, that's pretty bizarre. But more to the point. Oh, there's my layers. Okay. That's fine. So when I add a layer, let's go ahead and make it return a handle to that layer because we can. Well, again, if we change the return type. And actually, this should be probably a 2D. Hold on, I need to check if it being a canvas group is important. Do you have... Oh, you've got a shader on you. Probably important. Probably if I do this, it's going to break things. Unless it doesn't. All right, see you, Paul. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so that wasn't important, I guess. Seems that it was not especially important, as far as I can tell. Okay, so if that's true, then we can go back to doing what we were doing before. And also probably remove this material, because it's not actually doing anything. So let me just check that that is actually true. Okay. No, I think they've always been doing that. That's a separate issue. Pretty sure. Maybe. 50-50. Actually, we should probably put it back and then test that. Okay, it still does it. So this is useless as far as I can tell. All right. So now we go back to here. We go to our layer manager. And when we make a new layer, we actually want to add a node 2D. And I'll probably make a separate thing for this at some point. That way I can just instantiate it. But for now, make a node 2D. And then we make that be the parent of the new layer. We add that. All right. Maybe. Probably fine. Okay, and then we try importing an image. Say, okay, now let's import it. Can I call method load from file on a null value? I did something slightly wrong. Okay. What did I do? Because that shouldn't be null. Why would that be null? Let's try this. File, import image. Icon.svg. Okay, no error. So that's good. And then if we go here, okay, we've got that. We don't have any additional buttons, but that is because we haven't properly finished making layers work correctly. Okay. And we say, okay, we've got this new layer. So we go var, new layer, that. And then we say new layer. So that's going to be a sprite 2D. Alright, and then we set its image, basically. Texture. So we set the texture. What did we do before? For that, we did a... We got the texture 2D, okay. I think it's image texture. And then we, yeah, create from image. We pass it with our image. So now we ought to be able to import an image. There's no errors, but it's also not showing up. Why would that be? Ah, the position is way off. It's over here for some reason. Why is it way over there? Oh. I think I might know why. Possibly 50-50. That's not it. Oh, it's not actually over there. It just thinks it's over there. 'Cause that's in screen space. What if we pretend it's right? Yeah, that doesn't help either. We could check that it's actually properly loading the image. There's real data in there. So if we wanted to do that, say current image dot yeah, I mean, we could just fill it with some debug color. Make sure that it's doing literally anything. Like, that should show up. Can't see why it wouldn't. Unless... No, that doesn't make sense. Why would it not show up? Because it's using layer.trez when it should use multiply. Okay. I can work with that. To fix that, we just go to the layer manager. And we tell it to it makes a new layer. Where are you? Add layer. Layer material. We're going to change this temporarily, at least, to re-multiply that material. Now we say, okay, import image, found.svg, okay, shows up magenta, good. Then we go back to our script, we stop filling it in magenta. And it just works, question mark. File import. It kind of works. First, it loads it at, like, underneath everything, which is not ideal. Second, what the heck is going on with this? That doesn't seem right. Maybe we need to convert it to linear space first. Fine in terms of actually getting the image in there, so that's good. So let's go back to, where is it? Here. We load in the image, and then we say current image dot to RGB to linear. Then we import it. Okay, that's what we needed to do. Seems good to me. Okay. There is some fringing at the edge. I'm not sure if that is like the importer's fault. Or if that's something that I did. It's more likely to be something that I did, because why wouldn't it be? Yeah, that looks fine here. So what does that mean? Looking for any sort of defects in the drawing. Make sure it's not messing up everything, it's just the image. Seems good. Just have the normal areas. We've got off-center pixels, but that's fine. Okay. So then if we go back here, and then... Oh, that's weird. That's a new one. Let's see. Is it something with like pre-multiplying the alpha? That would make sense. Maybe we don't need to pre-multiply the alpha because it will kind of be automatically done. Or maybe we need to pre-multiply it right after we load the image. That would make some sense on some level. Okay. Yeah, let's try let's try not giving it the material. And instead, when we load the image, that would be here, sprite scene. when we load the image, we convert it to linear, and we do by alpha. Now, I'm not sure if we do pre-multiply before or after we convert to linear, but we'll see. That looks more correct. Is it correct? We draw. Got that. Not going to be correct when we draw in a layer. But it will be correct when we load an image, I guess. So go back here and slap this in here. I just want to check if we're getting the same little slightly colored artifacts that we're getting here. Like that's slightly purple. And then if we go back to 2D, we see, yeah, it's not. So something a little bit off there. Just subtly off. And I'm wondering if that is because we need to pre-multiply before converting to linear. Go ahead and import. That did not seem to help. Didn't really seem to make anything worse, but alright, either. Interesting. Theoretically, I think it's more correct to do it in linear space. So like that, but I'm not 100% sure about it. I would also be interested in perhaps changing like the mode of this to something a little bit higher fidelity. So like RGBAF would be a good format. We convert to that. And then I'm not sure how much of this, the rest of this, we need to do even. Go file, import. Okay, we get errors. Oh, yep, of course. So there's that. But that might mean that actually we don't need to do that at all. So let's see. If we go back here, get rid of that. And then let's go to the layer manager. Continue to set the material. Now what happens when we go ahead and import our image? Okay. Okay. And then if we do something like that. Still wrong, okay. And then we do that and then convert it maybe to sRGB. It's a strange thing to do, but you never know. Port. Huh. Still doesn't that. For some reason, it can't do any sort of conversion unless you're in like an 8-bit mode. But what I want is to be able to do it on, you know, a better, higher fidelity mode. So I think I might have to do it in a shader, but that would be annoying and not great. Even though I already kind of know how to do that. Or we could do it manually, which is, again, pretty bad. Let's see, maybe there's something I'm missing here. Uh, some there should be kind of like way to tell it what I'm doing, but I don't know how to do that. So like, if I go here and then we look at the input, for this, it feels like it shouldn't be relevant. But I can try it. Be a little bit weird. Doesn't quite work anyway. Oh. I did try that. That's fine. Yeah, this is just a matter of the import doesn't actually matter here. It's just going to be loading the image. But the problem is when I do that, when I do that, it is not matching up with what the sprite is expecting. Can I tell the sprite what to expect? I think is the question. And I don't know the answer to that. We could just selectively material, but something different. Okay. So what if we go in here and we say, the color equals true linear of color. That still has a little bit of funkiness that I can't quite explain. So what if we do it before linearizing it? If that makes any difference. Doubt it. But always good to check. So should check if we stopped doing... No, we did not. We stopped doing that. Let's reload it. So we import our image. And it still looks a little bit weird. Just a little bit off. And don't like that. Why does it look just a little bit off? Hmm. Hmm. Why would it do that? I am confusion. Why is it the way that it is? Why would it not be some other way? Other than the way that it is. Oh, no. Oh, is it a compression thing, maybe? That would be weird. AG plus R, sRGB plus... This sounds interesting. Um... Let's see. Yep, I already am convinced not to do that. Alright, re-multiply before converting to sRGB. G cannot store all claim. Hmm. Okay. Once again, the question is, what good does this do me? We're getting slight color errors in the margins here. That's what we're concerned about. So if that is doing that, why would it be doing that? That's the question. You don't get the same thing here. As far as I can tell. So when it's loaded and actually displayed by the engine, it looks fine. I think we could try adding that particular image in here and seeing what it makes it look like. Let's say this image and import it. We can see what that looks like. Well, it's like nothing apparently. Why is that? We got that. We should change this one. Save it. Go to the game. Reload the game. And then it should show up. No. I'd have to make it visible. And I save it. Then I save it. Then I reload it. And then it shows up. Why is it gray? Why is it grayed out over here? This should be right up here in the corner, but it's not. The question is why? Why is it not showing up there? I couldn't tell you. But I think that Godot has an idea. Oh, it's because this parent node is not visible. Now it should show up. Okay, so it doesn't like it either. It really hates its existence, all things considered. So if we go to the import for that and we set it to port like that, okay, and we pre-multiply the alpha, maybe, okay, and then we turn off some kind of compression or something. Yeah, I'm just not getting what is actually causing this strange color thing. Let's try this. Yep, okay. Last ditch, maybe lossless is actually lossy in some sense. Even though that makes no sense. Not a normal map. Re-import. So you can kind of see when we aren't pre-multiplying in the alpha, there's like this weirdness going on here. And that's definitely related. I'm just trying to figure out how. I think maybe there's like invisible bands of color going across here. There's not really. It's just in these in-between areas that you're getting that off color, which is confusing. Like, if it was just here, I'd be like, oh, it's just an alpha thing. But it's also happening in the inside edge, where, as far as I can tell, there is no alpha. Unless it's because it's an SVG, and the SVG, when it imports, is doing it in a certain way to where the mixing happens, and that is causing it to do this. If that were the case, we should expect to load something besides this SVG just fine. So if we change this to our alpha test image, which I don't know if this is the best test for this thing in particular, but if you'll bear with me for a moment. We pre-multiply the alpha. Okay. Wrong one. Where's the test image? Here we go. That's confusing. Why does this image not actually show up? Because it really should. But I think it does show up when we play. So why doesn't it show up before then? It just doesn't show up at all. And setting HDR as sRGB doesn't make any difference. I am confused as to why that is happening as well. Okay, what if we go here and we... Oh, that doesn't make sense. I guess change the shader to see if we can make that work. Yeah, I'm not sure why not able to get, first of all, this to even show up here. Oh, it's because we're not in main scene, maybe? So if we go here, let's get rid of that. I mean, you're not seeing it here, but that's okay-ish. Why don't we see that image behind there, even though we supposedly have it added right here? This image should show up here. Oh. Okay. I got it. I believe I understand. Possibly. Yeah. So if we want to be able to see it, we need to change its position. So to do that, we go here, we move it over, and not this one, this one. Yeah, for some reason the rectangle here is offset from the real one. Oh, because we're using offset instead of position. Maybe that doesn't make a difference. I don't know why it is offset from its actual thing, but it is. We have to deal with that. Now we'll be able to see it while we're working on it in the editor. If we go ahead and change some of the import settings, we can see them. Yeah, but that doesn't do anything. So maybe if I put a shader over it, that'll do it, but I'm a little confused as to why it's not doing what it was doing for the other image. Okay. Got this one. Right now we just have the pre-multiply shader. So if we swap that out for the this shader. Okay. So I'm thinking, actually, part of the problem is like the way we're doing pre-multiplied alpha or something. Okay. So if we manually convert it to linear, maybe like divide it by the, but then, so okay, so you can see some of the like errors here in terms of the very edges of where the colors are mixing, kind of getting messed up. Okay, so we've got this one. Okay. Maybe this is kind of where the issue is happening. So then if we go back down the stack, so to speak, to here, and we go ahead and change that. Turn it back to pre-multiply. Find it again. It's wrong. Multiply it again. Still wrong. Stop converting it to linear. Stop multiplying. Okay. So this is normal. So if we load in, that's not what I wanted to do. If we load in the widow icon here, move it into frame a bit more. Yeah, okay, so now we're not getting that funky color issues that we were getting before. Let me just add it to the main scene here. Kind of see. Like, a little bit of that is normal. Slight bit of like purpling or whatever in there is fine. But up here, there should be none of that. So that's cool. But then when we go here, something about the way that we were converting back to sRGB because we have to convert to linear if we want to get the proper benefit of linear mixing. Something about the way we then convert back to sRGB is causing yes, you've got all sorts of, I don't even know what's going on there, but it's wrong. We convert to sRGB, then we get correct behavior, I believe. For that, no, that's not even right. I don't know what else I changed. I definitely did change something else, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit confused about this one because it was at least not doing this just a minute ago. If we turn off pre-multiply alpha, and then we go to the shader that we have here. And in the shader, we actually do the alpha multiplication. And we convert it to linear. Then we're back over here, where we were before. Okay. Which should mean that also our colors are mixing correctly again. Ish. I mean, that's not correct, but I wish I'd made a backup of this. Be in here. That just makes it worse. It's very clearly happening at like this level. And I'm wondering if that's because of the like nature of it, the viewport that I'm using. Let's see, can we get this back to how it was before? Oh, well that's wrong. This should be the pre-multiply shader. And then we should swap out the material for brick mix material. We should go here. But that's weird. Oh, that's not it. What? Now I'm just really confused because... Oh, no, that's not. Never mind. That's layer 1. We need to be on layer 2. Okay. That's that. Swap out our material for brick mix. Okay. Now we get that. And then what happened? Still get that happening. Why on earth does that happen? I cannot remember. Oh, it's something in... No, but I didn't change that, did I? So it's something that I've done. Something that I've done here has made it be this way. Oh, What if we just take that out? Okay, so it's like with this, we need to swap this out for... That's fine for now. But this one here, we swap it out for plain old pre-multiply. Because its colors should already be, yeah, in linear space. So this is fine. This is what we expect and want to happen. Just not at the expense of this being wrong. So to fix that, Okay. We just remove that. Remove that, that's fine. So that's like the simple answer, right? But if we do that, now this is wrong. Okay. Still doing that. What did I just do? I literally just did something. That. Change this. Well, that's not right at all. I feel like this is why I say screw. Well, that's not right. Now I'm just going off the rails in terms of actually getting back to where I was before. I'm curious, though, about what the point of this was. Oh, there was no point. Maybe at some point there was, but once I started doing it, there wasn't. It just... Oh no, it would like unpre-multiply the color. Theoretically. But yeah. Well, we have partially implemented importing an image. You know, it's there. It exists. We put it in. It's getting kind of late, and it's pretty much all I've got for tonight, so. See you in the next one.